My name is Wyles. I grew up with a single mother who was also an addict. We hung around a tough crowd. Lots of moving, lots of partying. There was always drugs around. There was always alcohol around from as far as I could remember. I thought that was normal. That went on for some time until I was about 11 years old when my mom got clean. That's when I started doing my own stuff. I was pretty self-sufficient when I was young. I made my own lunch, I did my own laundry, I got myself to school. My mom got clean, I figured that was my turn to start partying and enjoying life. Got in with some rough crowds during high school and started selling drugs and that evolved after I got out of high school and progressed really rapidly from there. I didn't really think I had a problem, right? It was just that was gonna be my life, and I took what I learned when I was young. I tried everything. I tried moving away, to try to start fresh, trying to run away from the problems and always come back home. It was just always the same thing. First experience was substance. I think I was about 6 years old. One of the biker guys that my mom used to hang out with was babysitting me. He gave me a sip of a glass of wine, and I didn't like the taste of it, but I liked what happened to me afterwards. From then on, it was anytime there was a party or anything, I would be the one that would clean up, and I'd be stealing sips of beer and wine from the remnants of the party. I started smoking hash, actually, before I started smoking cigarettes. I was hooked right off the bat. From there, the guys that I was hanging out with, they had everything. I remember one night I was hanging with my friend that I usually hang out with. He presented cocaine to me, and I just remember the feeling afterwards was, this is gonna be a part of my life now. And that quickly turned into helping him sell it. It would get crazy, and I would say, okay, I'd have to, slow down on that. But drinking was always a constant. I worked with a window cleaning company, and I was working on a ground crew with a partner of mine. He presented Oxy to me. Not too long after that, heroin was presented to me. I was on it for a year and a half after that. I could not function without it. I was spending anywhere from $175 to $300 a day, maybe even more. The effect that it had on me, I loved it so much. Worst time of my life. But again, I would always resort going back to the alcohol and the cocaine. I thought alcohol was just my problem. I would stay away from it for a while, thinking that I was okay, and then it would just quickly develop back into drinking and doing the hard stuff again. And I got clean, and I got into a relationship, and I just thought I was well enough. I thought that I learned enough that I could be okay. Eventually, through that relationship, things got sour, and again, I was kicked out, and there was an option that was presented to me from my parents to go to treatment. At that point, I had nowhere to go, and I went to treatment for 42 days. Met a lot of people. Counselors were really good, but I didn't know what my next step was. 2 weeks before I was supposed to leave treatment, by the grace of God, I was able to get into Alpha House. I wanted to stay clean, but I think that I was faking it a little bit too much. I didn't realize the full scope of my addiction at that time. Yeah, I was back out within 3 months. What was good about Alpha House was that the connections that I made here were everlasting, especially with the counselors here and some of the alumni. We still talk. Even when I was out, when I went back out, I'd get the odd text of someone, hey, how you doing? And so there's always that connection. Even though I thought in my brain that I could control my addiction, I can control whatever I was doing at that time, there was always that feeling of I knew that I could speak to somebody at least. That carried on for a couple years, and I tried to go back to the 12-step program. I was doing good for a while, but then I felt like I could control it again. I was going to meetings high. I was picking up key tags and still using and putting on the face, right? Putting on the mask that I was putting on for all my life since I was young. It got to the point where it had to be on a daily basis. Used for like 2 weeks straight, was up for about a week. About 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, I was by myself. I was high. Something came over me that, this was enough. I got down on my knees that night. I don't know who I was praying to at the time. I didn't have a real knowledge of my higher power, but I just prayed to get me get me through that night, and that's when I realized that I needed to do something, and picked up a white key tag, and that was January 5th, 2022, and I haven't looked back since. Unbelievable amounts of support and fellowship here, almost too much from me. For me, being an addict, wanting to distance myself from people, they wouldn't let me. Anytime I needed to talk to somebody, they were there. I didn't want to ask for help. But it made it easy that the counselors, most of them are addicts and alcoholics, and they understood where I came from. It gave me a place to stay, first of all, is what I needed. But for me being here, the support on a 24-hour basis was unmatchable. The people here, when you think that you don't fit in, and I felt that way the first couple of days. And I think about a week in, it was that aha moment actually, where it was like, I belong. I never had that feeling before unless it was around drug addicts and drug dealers and that kind of way of lifestyle. And there was that type of people here, but we were on a different level. Being clean and being around other people that are trying to do the same thing as me, that was another moment where it was like, I belong. I never thought my life would look like that. I had a picture in my life of when I was a kid of how I wanted it to be, but this is how I really truly wanted it to be. Yeah. I'm building the trust back with my partner, with my mom and dad. They are not in a 12-step program anymore. I held a resentment against them for a while because it got in my mind that maybe I could start drinking again after a while. But working through that, that's their life, that's not my life. And I can't keep blaming my parents for the way my life has turned out. I'm at a point in my recovery now that I realize that I've done enough damage to people that I have to accept the fact that it's gonna take some time. Relationship with my son, again, I have to realize what I put him through. Now our relationship, I wouldn't want it any other way now. I mean, he wants to spend time with me now. That's a gift that I never want to throw away because I never thought that would ever happen, right? As long as I keep doing the things that I have to do, sky's the limit with my family, and I think we're on a good road there to that, yeah. I'm proud that I'm still alive. I'm proud that my son still wants me in his life. I'm proud that I have true friends that genuinely care about my well-being, and I'm proud that I can return that. I'm proud that I'm the person that can be a part of society. I'm accountable today, that I'm no longer taking advantage of people. I was not a good person at all, and I'm proud that I'm not that person anymore. It's like night and day, and I can say that about myself without feeling egotistical, as a message of saying, this is who you can be. I'm just one proud guy altogether, yeah. That's pretty cool, yeah. I think that, in general with my story, having the thoughts of, I don't need this place. I don't need treatment. I don't need Alpha House. I don't need these people. I was wrong. There's no way you can do this on your own. And it's not a form of weakness. It's a form of being strong, actually, because you're taking some control of your life in some aspect by asking for that help. Even all the things that I've gotten so far back in my life, they've all come back in my life with help from others, whether it be the people in the fellowship, in NA, or Alpha House, or anywhere that I've made connections with, my family. It's all come from people that have helped me and because I've asked.